Welcome, students. We are discussing the chapter The Bond of Love. In the previous section, we have seen the emotional attachment between narrator's wife and Bruno or Baba. After long time, when narrator's wife went to meet Bruno, most of people believed that Bruno would not recognize narrator's wife. This was the belief of narrator also. When they reached at Jew, their expectation was wrong. Bruno recognized narrator's wife at once. After that, narrator's wife had a desire to take Bruno back at home. For this, narrator, his wife, and other friends met curator and requested him to take Bruno back at home. This is the desire of Bruno's, narrator's wife. Curator said that Bruno had become government property and it was not easy to give you Bruno. For this, we had to consult superintendent. If he agreed, then you might take Bruno back at home. Finally, everyone met superintendent. He was kind-hearted man. He at once gave his consent to take Bruno at home. Not only this, the superintendent also managed the lorry to take Bruno back at home. In this way, Bruno was brought at home. So, this part we have discussed in the previous section. Now, see, back we went to Mysore again, armed with the superintendent's letter. They had superintendent's letter in which superintendent had given his consent. Papa was driven into a small case and hoisted. Hoisted here means raised by means of ropes or pulleys on top of the car. The case was tied securely and a slow and careful return journey to Bangalore was accomplished. So, this is the way how Bruno was brought at home, and this journey was accomplished. This journey was completed. Okay, so in this part, we have seen how Bruno was sent to Bangalore. Now, see, once home, one thing remember, Bruno was huge in size and Bruno could not be kept in house. That's why A different, a separate place was kept for Bruno. What sort of place was built? We will see in this part. See, once home, a squad here means team of coolies were engaged for special work in our compound. So this team of coolies was engaged for the special work. What they were doing? They were making a special place for Bruno. An island was made for Baba. An island was made for Baba. It was 20 feet long and 15 feet wide and was surrounded by a dry pit or moat 6 feet wide and 7 feet deep. So, this was the structure, this was the island that is made for Baba at home. Why it had been done? Because Baba was huge in size, he could not be kept at home. Second reason is that there is a possibility that Bruno can harm anyone. Bruno may harm any children. So that's why he was kept outside of the house. An island was built for Bruno, was made for Bruno, and here we have seen what is the size of the area, what is the size of the island. We had seen a wooden box that once house fowls was brought and put on the island for Baba to sleep in at night. Straw was placed inside to keep him warm, and his baby, the gnarled stump, gnarled here means twisted stump, along with his gun, the piece of bamboo. So, this was the arrangement made for Baba, both of which had been sentimentally preserved since he had been sent away to the zoo, were put back for him to play with. Now, the separation was made when Bruno was away from narrator's wife. Now they were living together. An island was made for Baba. So, in this way, you see, Baba and narrator's wife were living together, although an island was made for Baba. So, here you see that what sort of attachment was present between narrator's wife and Bruno. So this is the part which we have discussed. Now we move to next thing. In a few days, the coolies hoisted the keys onto the island and Baba was released. He was delighted. Standing on his hind legs, he pointed his gun and cradled his baby. My wife spent hours sitting on a chair there while he sat on her lap. He was 15 months old and pretty heavy too. So, last line of this paragraph clearly indicates that both are deeply attached to each other. Both here refers to narrator's wife and Bruno or Baba. Both were deeply attached to each other. And and both spent maximum time together. Baba used to sit on sit on narrator's wife lap, although he was very heavy. So again, this section shows the emotional attachment between narrator's wife and Bruno. Now see, the way my wife reaches the island and leaves it is interesting. So a different island was made, a different place was made for Bruno. But one thing is more interesting, how narrator's wife went to island and meet Bruno and leaves the island. That is the interesting part. How does it take place? You see, I have tied, I here means narrator has tied a rope to the overhanging branch of a mango tree with a loop at its end. Putting one foot in the loop, she kicks off with the other to bridge the 6-foot gap that constitutes the wide width of the surrounding pit. The return journey is made the same way, but who can say now that a sloth bear has no sense of affection, no memory, and no individual characteristics? Meaning is this, animals have also emotions. They can show their emotions if anyone is attached to them. How can we say that animals have no affection, no memory, no individual characters? Meaning is this, animals have senses, they have affections, they have memories, and they have individual characteristics. So each and every animal has its own characteristics, and here in this whole chapter we have seen the characteristic of sloth bear, that is Bruno or Baba. So here you have seen that how the Bruno was brought back at home, and at home an island was made for Baba, and several precautions were taken to keep Baba at home. And narrator's wife used to meet Bruno, and she spent maximum time with Bruno. Bruno also enjoyed the company of narrator's wife. They were attached to each other. At last, narrator says one thing. How can we say that animals don't have feelings, they don't have emotions, they don't have senses, they don't have affections, they don't have memories? Everything they have. They possess everything. They have senses, memories, okay, everything they possess. Animals can express their emotions. That emotion can be felt by the person who is attached to the particular animal. तो इस पूरे पार्ट में हम देखते हैं कि कैसे ब्रूनो बेंगलोर आता है, और बेंगलोर आने के बाद उसके लिए एक अलग सा आइलैंड बनाया जाता है, और आइलैंड की लेंथ क्या है, विड्थ क्या है, वो सारी चीज़ें इसमें बताई गई हैं। इसके बाद हम देखते हैं कि नरेटर की जो वाइफ है वो उससे मिलने के लिए बड़े ही इंटरेस्टिंग वे में उसके पास जाती है। मैक्सिमम टाइम वो लोग एक साथ व्यतीत करते हैं। ब्रूनो भी नरेटर्स वाइफ के लैब में रहकर अपना समय व्यतीत करता है। तो ये शो करता है कि नरेटर्स वाइफ और ब्रूनो के बीच किस तरह का इमोशनल अटैचमेंट है, और दोनों ही जो हैं एक दूसरे के प्रति अपने इमोशंस को एक्सप्रेस करते हैं। और लास्टली नरेटर ये कहता है कि ये कैसे नहीं माना जा सकता कि एनिमल्स की अपनी सेंसेस, अपने अफेक्शन, अपनी पहचान, अपनी मेमोरीज नहीं होती हैं। नरेटर के अनुसार एनिमल्स की अपनी खुद की सेंसेस होती हैं, इमोशंस होते हैं, फीलिंग्स होती हैं, उनकी मेमोरीज हैं, इंडिविजुअल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक होती है। हर एक एनिमल की अपनी अलग अलग जो है कैरेक्टरिस्टिक होती है। So this chapter clearly indicates that animals also have senses. They also have emotions. They can also show their emotions. That person can easily understand who is deeply attached to an animal. So that is all which we have discussed in this section. ओके, ये याद रखना, ये पूरा चैप्टर जो है ह्यूमन बीइंग और एनिमल्स के बीच के रिलेशन की बात करता है। दोनों के बीच किस तरह के बॉन्ड होते हैं, इस बात पे इसमें इस पूरे ही चैप्टर में चर्चा की गई है। और स्पेशली ये चैप्टर ह्यूमन बीइंग और एनिमल्स के बीच जो इमोशनल अटैचमेंट है, इमोशनल जो रिलेशनशिप है, उसको दर्शाया गया है। इस चैप्टर हम देखते हैं कि नरेटर्स वाइफ और ब्रूनो या बाबा के बीच जो है एक इमोशनल अटैचमेंट है, जिसको कि पूरे चैप्टर में दिखाया गया है। और इस चैप्टर के द्वारा ये भी बताया गया कि एनिमल और ह्यूमन बीइंग के बीच क्या है, एक डीप रिलेशन होता है। ओके, थैंक यू।